And we're live.
We
Yes,
are
we are.
Day 3. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. It's Suzaida and Shanae, your Elevate co-hosts and producers. We're on for day 3. How's it going?
Yeah.
Plug in the comments. Please plug in the comments.
Yeah, how have day 1 and day 2 been going for you? I can't believe it's already day 3 and then we have 2 days left and then that's the 5-day challenge. Let us know, how has day 1, day 2 been for you? And how excited are you for day 3 today?
Yeah. And let's do a little recap. All right. So we started by having you guys do some homework, some play work. You had an assignment, and one was to list 3 things from the event over the weekend, if you attended, that you wanted to implement in your life. If you didn't attend the event, then your ask is to list 3 new habits that you want to implement in your life. And then to write that down on a piece of paper and put it on a wall, ideally like in your bedroom so you see it when you first wake up, or a wall where you can have access to seeing it all throughout the day, right? And then we also asked you guys to complete your human design. We've provided the link in all the emails we've sent. So if you haven't done that yet, please do it now. Do it now. And then the other assignment was to join in the Facebook group, which at this point, it's not really as relevant anymore because we're streaming the dailies in our Facebook group or in our YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So that's the recap, right? And sister, would you like to recap the day 1 and day 2?
Sure. So day 1, we were so
it was the I am,
yeah.
the 5 emotions. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So I was getting confused between day 1 and day 2. So day 1, what we did was have you come up with 5 emotions that we wanted you to connect with and write them down on a piece of paper. And we had a specific script that we had you write down and put on your wall, like Suzaida just said. So really connecting with those 5 emotions and connecting that with your intention. And then on day 2, we took you through a movie streaming basically of your own life where we were connecting, having you connect with your intention as it relates to those 5 emotions. So really visualizing and what that meant. So tuning in viscerally with all of your emotions and connecting it to your intention and putting those together, coalescing those to really have the experience where you are going to attract it and magnetize it into your life. So that was day 2. And now day 3, we're going to be getting into your human design. And I'm so excited because we've created just such a beautiful way of understanding it, because it can be a rabbit hole, but we've created a very beautiful presentation that Suzaida is going to go through, and we're going to coalesce together and break down your human design. So here we go.
Thank you for that, sister. So have your human design chart in front of you. Some of you, I think, are familiar with this. A small number of you are familiar with human design, but most of you are not. And this is going to be new information to you. So pull out your human design, and it will help you kind of understand your human design at a very high level and enough for you to implement it as part of this 5-day challenge. I'm going to share my slide here. Okay. The human design system. So first know that we have about 9 or 10 slides that we're going to share with you. The human design system is highly, highly intricate, very, very complex. And what we're going to cover over the next, 15, 20 minutes is barely just grazing the surface of what this entire system means. But what we're going to do is tell you kind of at a very high level where this system came from, what is human design, what your human design chart tells you. And we're going to tell you also about the 4 different types of human design, or 4 different types of human beings. And we're going to emphasize for you what you get to focus on to begin to experiment and play with in your life as part as living life as your highest self. All right, you ready? Okay, so I'm not going to go into this in too much detail, but what I want you to look at on this slide is the left side and the right side. So the left side, you see the title, 4 Ancient Esoteric Systems. And on the right side, you see Modern Science. Okay, so it's the 4 ancient esoteric systems and the modern sciences that make up this human design. And just know what you need to know here is that it is based on ancient astrology, the Chinese I Ching, or Book of Changes. It's also based on the Brahman chakra system, which most of us know to be 7 centers. The human design has evolved it into 9 centers because of our human evolution. And it also synthesizes the Kabbalah tree of life. So it takes those 4 ancient esoteric systems and it synthesizes it with the sciences of quantum mechanics, astronomy, genetics, and biochemistry. And it is these 4 components that make up what you see here as the human design wheel. It's actually called the mandala wheel. And again, I'm not going to go into this right now. This is just very high level. And this is straight from the Human Design book, okay? The Human Design focuses on health, stability, and direction of our life contained within our bodies. Once the body is functioning optimally, the light of our soul shines through all we think, say, and do with an empowering clarity and gentle ease. This is authenticity, living as we were designed to live. Now, let me just preface the remainder of the slides. Actually, it's very word heavy. It's very content heavy because there's so much information to share. And we felt that in order for you to really receive this information, it was best to just kind of write it all out in words. So I am going to read the slides word for word. And so I'm going to ask you to follow along in this way. Okay, just follow along with me as I read along the slides. So now, what is human design? We're going to explain what human design is across four definitions, I guess you can say. So first, it shows you that the form you inhabit, meaning your body, has a unique design and specific purpose to fulfill while on Earth. Second, it reveals the unique way you are to make decisions with your body consciousness or your body intelligence, because life is no longer about making decisions with the mind. 3, it shows you how to know your true self while understanding and letting go of your not true self. And by living, number 4, by living as you are designed to live as yourself, your mind starts to play a different and much more appropriate role as a tool and an objective observer, freeing you to live with a superior consciousness of your body. So all of this is actually really consistent with the work that we do at Elevate, and that is managing your mind, right? Getting ahead of your mind and not letting your mind control you. And also accessing your body wisdom, accessing your body intelligence, that innate wisdom that lies in our body. So that's kind of another way to explain what human design does. Now, do you have your chart? Get your chart out and just have a quick look at it. I know that it can seem pretty overwhelming, right? And don't worry, we are going to give you a high level overview of how to have at least a basic understanding of what you're seeing with your chart. And there are 6 things that we're going to go over that will help you understand what your chart is telling you. Okay. So number 1, it shows your specific genetic design, affirming who you really are, how to be yourself, and how to navigate successfully through a constantly changing world. 2, it gives you a strategy you can trust that reliably connects you to your personal authority in order to make moment-to-moment decisions that are correct for you so that your unique life purpose can unfold naturally. And we're going to tell you about your strategy, and we're going to tell you some about your personal authority. We're actually going to go into a little bit of detail with one specific personal authority based on the human design results that you guys sent. We picked one authority we're going to talk about. Your strategy will help you eliminate resistance and fear in order to live a relaxed, unique, creative, and evolutionary, revolutionary way. Number 4, your chart helps you to understand how the attractions, resonances, and conflicts between you and others play out in life. Number 5, your chart also gives you guidance on how to align yourself with people who enhance your vitality, support your life purpose, and share your true path. And lastly, number 6, when you also understand the human design of others, it empowers you to truly understand their unique and individual nature and how to best respect and interact with them. Now, here are the 4 types of human design or human beings. And here's how I want you to follow along on this with this table. So you see at the top the 4 different types of human designs. We have generators, projectors, manifestors, and reflectors. Generators are the builders of the world, and they consist of 70% of the human population. Projectors, I'm a projector. Guys, and we consist 20% of the population. Manifestors, these are the initiators consisting of 9% of the population. Shanae is a manifesting generator. So it's kind of a subtype of a manifester, but we're not going to get into that. I just wanted to share what Shanae's human design is. And a couple of you actually sent in your human design and it came out as manifesting generator. And then we have the reflectors as the 4th type of human design or 4th human being, 4th type of human being. These are the discerners, and they consist of 1% of the population. The second row is the strategy. So if you're a generator, your strategy is to wait for things to come to you so you can respond. When if you're a generator and you initiate rather than wait to respond, Generators usually end up feeling frustrated. So you see this just below the strategy in the anti-strategy section. If you're a projector, again, which I am, our strategy is to wait for our specific qualities to be recognized by others, and then for us to be invited. If as a projector, we initiate rather than wait, we experience resistance and rejection. Manifestors, your strategy is to inform others of your decision before taking action in order to eliminate resistance. As a manifestor, when you cannot manifest in peace, you experience anger. Reflectors have a very fascinating strategy. Their strategy is to wait for a full moon cycle before making major decisions. When reflectors don't follow their strategy and they initiate, they end up disappointed with life. This is really interesting, right? And again, you're just getting a very high level overview of the different types of human design. And there's so much more to cover. But at a very high level, this hopefully gives you an understanding, is starting to give you an understanding of what you're seeing with your human design. Now, follow me to the row labeled role. For generators are the life force of the planet, designed to know themselves by observing what they respond to. Let me say that again. Generators are the life force of the planet, designed to know themselves by observing what they respond to. And their work is their gift to the world. For projectors, again, I'm a projector. It's through an invitation that projectors experience recognition and success in their lives. And our gift is to be understanding and a guide for others. Manifestors, the role of a manifestor, they're designed to have a powerful impact and be the initiating mechanisms for the other types. Initiating is their gift to the world. Let me say again the role of the manifestor. Manifestors are designed to have a powerful impact and be initiating mechanisms for the other types. Reflectors, their role, they're designed to be the judges of humanity, to reflect back injustices humanity inflicts on itself. And their gift is that they have the ability to clearly discern the this and that of the world. I have a very close friend of mine who's a soul sister who's a reflector, and she 1,000% accurately is an accurate depiction of the reflector human design. It is so her. So if you guys want, as you're watching this, feel free to take a screenshot so you can have you can keep a copy of what you're seeing. I know if you're taking notes, it's going to be a lot. So that's what I would do. Just take a screenshot. If you have a Mac, you can you should have a screenshot grab. So if you go in your search button and you look for grab or screenshot, that's an app that will allow you to take a screenshot. On a PC, it's shift print screen for you to take screenshots, in case you guys didn't know this. Or you can use your phone.
Thanks for that, sister. That was such a beautiful overview of human design and how it relates to all of our types. Now, it's so interesting, right? I'm sure all of your socks were knocked off by all that wonderful information, as I'm sure, like, for example, when I started getting into human design, and I'm sure this is similar with my sister, there's a lot of information there, but it's so on point. And like she said at the beginning, you can really use this to propel your life forward and live in your authentic truth and honor to how you dance best with the universe and how you dance best in this world. So I know some of you in who are watching and who are participating in the 5-day challenge are manifesting generators. We have some generators. So we want to talk about the two authorities. And really, I wanted to come in and kind of bring it back to 3 key things to really focus on.
Oh,
All-
sister, sorry, I'm going to pause you 1 second. That's a couple more slides later.
oh, okay. All right. So we're going to continue with that conversation in a couple more slides.
Yes, thank you.
Back
Thank
ahead.
you. Yeah. No, yeah, you'll see the slide is going to play again. So yes, I know this slide is your cue. All right. So now go back to and thank you for that, by the way, sister. I'm excited to get into the 3 things that you're going to have them focus on. And before we get into that, let's have you look at your chart, because you guys are probably wondering what do these things mean? Like, what do those triangles, the diamond, the square, the colors, the numbers, because there's gates. So those numbers are gates, which we're not going to go into. But this is going to give you kind of, again, a high level understanding of the 9 centers. So again, the 9 centers comes from the chakra system. We typically know the 7 centers, right? We know of the 7 centers of the chakra system. The human design has created a variation of that to be 9 centers. So at the very bottom, when in looking at the slide, follow me from the bottom up, okay? The very bottom, you see the root center. And right above that is the sacral center. To the left of the sacral is the splenic. To the right of the sacral is your solar plexus. And just above that is the heart center. And right there, smack in the middle, is the G center. And then you have your throat, and you have your ajna, and then you have your head center. And again, we're not going to go into complete detail around this, but just know that whatever, emotions or biological functions that happen in those centers, right? That is an aspect of your beingness that is either defined, it has a color. When it's defined, it's colored in. When it's white, it's undefined. Okay. Now, what does it mean? What does a defined or undefined center mean? So again, a defined, so follow along on the left side first. Okay, we're going to explain what a defined center is. A defined center is your colored centers. And these are aspects of yourself that you can consider your true self. They're fixed and a dependable part of us to be embraced, expressed, and lived. So think of your colored centers as a transmitter, like a message or defining frequency that you send out into the world through your aura. It is how we condition others. It's how we influence others. And because these centers are defined, they are consistent throughout our lifetime and are reliable and are the parameters for who we are becoming and the potential we grow into over our lifetime. Okay. Now, when I explain what a defined center is, it's going to make more sense, the definition of defined centers. So now, the right side of the screen, undefined centers are the white centers or the not self centers. These undefined centers are the most vulnerable to conditioning and are constantly being defined or energetically filled in by the definition of others. It's like a receiver in how, for good or bad, we are nurtured by and learn from our environment. Because our centers are undefined, that means we're open. Those centers are open. And through that openness, we experience, reflect, and magnify the energies we take in from others. And it is through our defined centers that determines which challenges or fears we face and what becomes also our greatest source of education and maturing wisdom. Okay, so let me recap all of this. Again, defined is the colored aspect, the colored centers, they are true aspects of yourself, true aspects, meaning they are not vulnerable to conditioning to the outside world. That's you. We come into the world with these defined centers, but what happens because of our undefined centers, all the conditioning creates layers and layers and layers of not self stuff that we end up thinking is ourself. So having an understanding of our centers that are defined and undefined really helps us to understand and create discernment of what's you, what's not you, what's me, what's you, and what aspects of me, what aspects of you have been influenced, conditioned by the people around you. Look at number 2 for defined. Again, fixed and dependable part of us to be embraced, expressed, and live. For the undefined, it's the most vulnerable to conditioning and constantly being defined or energetically filled in by the definition of others. Number 3, defined is your energetic frequency that you send out into the world through your aura. Undefined, you are a receiver of the information around you. So for good or bad, it is how you are nurtured by and learn from the environment. It's how you get conditioned. So with a defined center, that center conditions others. When you are undefined, your undefined center is instead conditioned by others. Okay, did I say that right? Okay, let me say that again. So your defined centers conditions others, whereas an undefined center is conditioned by others. Right? Isn't this beautiful? This when you understand the different centers, well, if you already are familiar and have a good understanding of the different chakra systems, this can really help you navigate the things that are you and the things that are not you more powerfully than you would otherwise Okay, so now understanding your authority. In your human design, you have an authority. Some of you that sent in your human design have an authority of emotional solar plexus authority. Some of you I saw had a sacral authority, which Shanae can speak to that in a little bit because she is of a sacral authority. And so what does this authority mean? So first, again, follow along with me here. I'm going to read this slide. In understanding your authority, first know that human design helps you to live by each your own authority so you make decisions that are individually correct. When you practice your strategy and authority, so we're going to reiterate your strategy a little later. Shanae is going to do that. When you practice your strategy and your authority, you align to your unique geometry, genetic makeup, reason for incarnating, and your uniqueness expressed as your true self. There are 7 different authorities, and each represents a different way or mode of making decisions. For illustration purposes, we're going to talk about the emotional solar plexus authority. So for those of you who have this authority, hold on, just look at my notes here. 1 second. Right. There were some manifestors and generators and manifesting generators that came in with an emotional solar plexus authority. So when you have an emotional solar plexus authority, here's what that means. Number 1, when the solar plexus center is defined, first know that it takes precedence over all other authority centers. Solar plexus operates through an emotional wave, and so that means that waiting for clarity is your key to living in harmony. 50% of the people on the planet have a defined solar plexus, and which means they're designed to wait out their emotional wave before making a decision. Your truth reveals itself in its fullness over time and emerges eventually as a sense of clarity. Patience and time are key with this authority. Again, patience and time are key with this authority, and the goal is to become as clear as possible. Now, sister, I know you have some familiarity with this authority. Is there anything else you'd like to add on here that I didn't include?
Yeah, absolutely. To give it some visual context and visceral context for all of you that are emotional solar plexus authority as well, to add to that beautiful description, I would say wait for 30 days until you make a decision. That's usually the strategy of an emotional authority. And the strategy for waiting basically for at least 30 days until making a decision and knowing that that's a decision that's defining you. So it's not a good idea for an emotional, like you can function in different authorities. Like as an emotional, you can make a sacral decision, which means that you're gonna make a decision right in that moment, but it's just not the best way that you dance with the universe. So you're not gonna find as much flow. So for the emotional authorities, the best strategy for that is waiting for a amount of time, like at least 30 days, a couple weeks to 30 days, and then make a decision. And then you can trust that that's in the best flow with the universe for you, working for you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, before I give it back to Shanae here, we're going to where she's going to recap the strategy and some of the authority here. Let me just give you examples of famous people who are generators, projectors, manifestors, and reflectors. Okay, so first, famous generators are the Dalai Lama, Albert Einstein, Mozart, Madonna, Elvis Presley. So those are some examples. Then for those who have manifesting generator, the manifesting generator famous people example include Mother Teresa, Vincent van Gogh, Bruce Lee, Angelina Jolie. For the projector, some famous projectors are Nelson Mandela, John F. Kennedy, Queen Elizabeth, Marilyn Monroe, George Clooney, Barack Obama. For, let's see, for manifestors, famous manifestors include Maya Angelou, Jennifer Aniston, Adolf Hitler, George W. Bush. Martha Stewart. And some famous reflectors. Let me see. Famous reflectors. Rosalind Carter, who is the wife of former President Jimmy Carter. Scott Hamilton, who is an Olympic gold medal skater. And Sandra Bullock. There's some others here whose names I can't pronounce because I'm not going to name them because I can't pronounce their names. But so those are some examples of reflectors. And so, okay, sister, back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Suzaida. So I'm gonna wrap it up for us to really put everything together in the 3 things that we would like to invite you to concentrate on. I know it was quite a lot of information and really it can be a rabbit hole to go down. So this was a really beautiful way of contextualizing and giving it to you in really a bite-sized form. Of what human design really is, because it can get really deep and complex. So I want to take it back to really the 3 main things to focus on here. And this is also going to be our day 3 play task. So first I'm going to give the tasks and then I'm going to go into a little bit of a personal experience as a manifesting generator for those of you who are manifesting generators and who have a sacral authority. So bring it together. So concentrate on 3 things. The 3 things are really important and not to go down the rabbit hole. So number 1 is your authority as your type. So whether you be a manifesting generator, projector, manifester, or reflector. So number 1, your type. Number 2 is your authority. Are you a solar plexus authority? Are you a sacral authority? And there are 7 types of authorities. So honing in on what your particular authority is. And number 3, what is your strategy? So if you can concentrate on those 3 things, you will be set to go in making your next mini shift to achieve your intention that we set off. You had 3 intentions that you set for this 5-day challenge to live as your highest self. So when you concentrate on those 3 things, you'll be able to know how to take that mini shift. So your play task today is to list those 3 things. So share in the chat what your type is, what your authority is, and what your strategy is. For example, as a manifesting generator, my type is manifesting generator. My authority is sacral. So that simply means the sacral, you make decisions right when something comes to you. So there are a lot of things that are manifested and a lot of opportunities that come your way. So to know what the next best step is, you use your sacral to say yes or no. And it usually comes in the form of the sound like, that's not for me, or it is for me. Whereas the emotional is waiting for 30 days and having time lapse so that they can make a decision and feel into it. So for example, so the type and the authority and then the strategy, for example, for manifesting generators such as myself, it's wait to respond. So it doesn't do much good for me to initiate. I flow best with the universe, for example. And for those of you who are manifesting generators, when the opportunity comes to you and then you wait to respond by using your sacral to say either yes or no if it's working for you. So as you see here in the slide, your play task is to know your type, authority, and strategy, those 3 things, and then feel into how those aspects of your human design resonate specifically with you. And then thirdly, start experimenting with your type, authority, and strategy as it relates with your intentions, like I said. So you told us about 3. So really connect those 3 things and how you could take those 3 items of how you, like, this is how you roll with the universe. This is how you dance best with the universe and honor your own particular purposeful truth and how you show up in the universe. So that gets to be honored. So how can you relate that to your intention to make the next mini shift towards achieving that intention. So that is your play task for today, for day 3 of the Live as Your Highest Self 5-day challenge. And we thank you for joining us. You still have time to invite other people. They can still catch up on day 1 and day 2. Just share with them the link and they can get all signed up. And yeah, we will see you for day 4 of the 5-day challenge. We'll be getting more into incorporating your human design with your intention and more of the movie streaming. And when we get into it, like I said, we've been going day by day according to what you all need. So we're going to formulate it in real time in what way best serves you. So join us tomorrow, day 4. And did you have anything that you'd like to share too, sister, with that?
That was perfect. That was a perfect conclusion. So thank you, everyone. We will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.